Good morning, Lawrence. Smiles, everyone. Smiles.
And who are these ladies, sir?
3 highly skilled nurses whose fantasy has been arranged by a grateful patient who, by the way, is also on Fantasy Island.
A rather well-to-do patient, I gather.
A very successful gentleman. Grateful for the critical 24-hour care by these nurses, whose generosity, by the way, is still unknown to the ladies.
They must be very deserving ladies.
Indeed they are. That's Miss Christine Donovan in the orange dress.
And her fantasy, sir.
To have a callous doctor whom she considers to be a tyrant, who for this weekend is practicing on Fantasy Island on special consultation, learn a lesson in compassion and humility. The blonde lady is Miss Tracy Fremont. Her fantasy is to make a famous athlete see her as something much more than a mere dispenser of medicines and alcohol rubs. You see, she was his night nurse, and he never really saw her.
And will she get her fantasy, sir?
Not in the way she hopes, no. Unfortunately, that is especially true of Miss Alice Green, whose fantasy is to spend a restful weekend doing absolutely nothing.
Do I detect an ominous undercurrent, sir?
In Miss Green's case, yes. Not only ominous, but tragic. Death may play a part. My dear guests, I am Mr. Rourke, your host. Welcome to Fantasy Island.
Come in. Just unpacking.
Thank you. You'll be happy to know your 3 nurses arrived on the island a little while ago.
Wonderful.
Yes.
You know, those 3 gals took such great care of me all those long weeks in the hospital.
Yes, they're charming ladies, and I'm sure they'd all like to know you are their mysterious benefactor so they could express their gratitude.
Just knowing they're being repaid a little bit for everything they did for me is thanks enough. You know, we give doctors all the credit for getting us well, and we forget about the nurses and the magnificent work they do.
Yes. But now that they're being duly rewarded, what about you, Mr. Galloway? Huh? Surely by now you've thought of a fantasy for yourself.
Oh, I have almost everything a man could want, Mr. Rourke. Got a new jacket. Do you like that?
Oh, very nice indeed.
As a matter of fact, there is something.
Oh?
I hope you won't think this is silly, but there's a woman.
Well, let's hope affairs of the heart are never considered silly, Mr. Galloway.
It's one of the nurses, Alice Green. When I was her patient, well, a kind of relationship developed. As a matter of fact, I fell in love with her.
Was the feeling mutual?
Well, I think so. I hope so, but I can't get her to say it in so many words.
Ah, so your fantasy is to have Miss Green admit that she's in love with you.
Is that crazy? Is it asking too much?
No, no. If you're sure that's what you want, I'll see what I can do, Mr. Galloway.
Oh, all of this is for us, Mr. Rourke? Oh, I've never seen anything like it in my life.
All part of your fantasy as provided by your admirer and benefactor, Miss Fremont.
Well, whoever he is, I love him.
I'll second that.
I adore him.
A triple burden he'd be delighted to carry, I'm sure.
Come on, Mr. Rourke. Who is he?
I'm sorry, for the moment, he's a secret. At his request, you understand.
Well, when I find out who he is, I'm going to lay a big one on him.
Look at all these shoes. I love shoes. How do you know that?
Just one of life's little mysteries, Miss Donovan.
Well, I am going to begin my fantasy right now. A whole weekend of peace and quiet, not a care in the world. I would love to see the grounds if someone could show me around.
Oh, well, I'm sure Lawrence would be delighted, Miss Green.
At your service, madam.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you. Oh, Tracy, go easy on Crash. The man is here to recuperate. Bye.
Is he here yet, Mr. Rourke? Crash McCowan.
Oh, yes, he is. Mr. McGowan, All-American, Heisman Trophy winner, All-Pro, top-rated quarterback. Am I leaving anything out?
Playpen Centerfold of the Month.
How could I forget that? How well did you know Mr. McGowan when he was your patient?
Not well enough.
You see, Tracy was his night nurse. She said he never woke up during any of her shifts.
Well, I assure you, Miss Fremont, your Mr. McGowan is wide awake now. The object of your fantasy, Miss Fremont, Mr. Crash McGowan.
All right, Lanny, you ready? Here we go. Hey. Nice grab. Keep those fingers up. Keep your body square. Good job. Okay, Wilton.
Isn't he gorgeous, Mr. Rourke?
Impressive, at the very least. And now may I suggest you do what you've been wanting to do for a long time. If you'll excuse the expression, intercept one of his passes.
Good catch, Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Rourke. Watch this. Oh! Ow!
You all right, lady?
Oh, yes.
Are you okay?
I've never been better.
Is Dr. Reed expecting me?
Oh, yes, Miss Donovan. He's here consulting on a case and was delighted to hear I'd arranged for you to assist him. You're sure this is what you want to do with your fantasy?
Absolutely. Leave the loving to Tracy and the revenging to me.
One thing puzzles me, Miss Donovan. Dr. Reed really seems like a very decent person.
Oh, I know. When you take him out to lunch, he's absolutely terrific. But when he gets around his patients, he turns into Dr. Jekyll. Or is it Mr. Hyde?
Mr. Hyde is the monster, I believe.
Yeah, well, then that's him. The man has no concept whatsoever what it's like to be sick, alone, and afraid in a hospital.
And you're sure there is no personal score you're trying to settle as well?
Bullseye, Mr. Rourke.
Thank you.
He treats his nurses just as badly as he treats his patients. And frankly, I'm tired of ducking the fallout.
I see. Well, as you wish, Miss Donovan. Dr. Reed and his patient are in this room. I hope your fantasy is all you expect it to be. And more.
Good morning, Dr. Reed.
Hello, Christine. I was delighted to hear you'd be helping me out.
Me too.
Do we have a serum panel? I needed stat.
Is something wrong?
In the meantime, increase cephalosporin to 500 milligrams, Q6H.
What's that?
You wouldn't know if I told you.
Keep your infection in check.
You mean my incision's infected? Aren't you going to tell me?
I'm the doctor here. I'll tell you everything you need to know when you need to know it.
Code Blue, critical ward stat. Code Blue, critical ward
Call me
stat.
when you get the lab report.
Code Blue, Code Blue.
Dr. Reed! Don't do that.
I can't move, damn it.
You go on your coat. Gurney, you call X-ray, and you get a doctor. Where does it hurt?
Everywhere.
Hurry!
Well, I'm delighted it was George who gave us our fantasies.
Miss Green, Mr. Galloway also chose a fantasy for himself, and it involves you.
There was a time. when I thought George was the man of my dreams, the one I'd been waiting for all my life. But that was then, and this is now.
I see. Does your decision have anything to do with the fact that he's terminal? That he's going to die?
How did you know? Does he know?
No. Not yet. Apparently he's in remission at the moment, and his doctor decided to wait until he returns to the city to tell him.
Oh.
Please excuse me for being so to the point, Miss Green, but are you in love with Mr. Galloway?
Yes.
And that frightens you?
To commit myself to a man that I know has only a year or so to live, it terrifies me. Mr. Rourke, I've been a nurse for a long time, many years. I've been around death before. But feeling the way I do about George, and knowing what's ahead.
Miss Green, love has nothing to do with how long we live or what's ahead. Love can transcend time, but only if we reach out for it. And don't let it escape us.
I do love it, Mr. Rourke.
If that is so, what would you like to do about it?
Is it possible to change my fantasy? I want his fantasy to be the same as mine, to be in love with me.
It can be arranged, yes.
I don't seem to care anymore about a weekend of peace and quiet. Make my fantasy the same as George's. Can you do that?
Oh, yes, Miss Green. I can do that.
Good.
Alice, you look absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, George. You look pretty wonderful yourself.
All right, now tell me about this mysterious place you're taking me.
Nope, it's a big surprise. The least I could do for the man who gave me such a wonderful fantasy.
Oh, come on, tell me.
I don't have to. We're here.
A Japanese picnic. That's wonderful.
Konnichiwa gozaimasu. Please to be seated.
I don't know if I can get down here.
Yeah, you look like a real samurai.
Oh, samurai. What is that?
Eel, I think. No, a squid.
Oh, my favorite. Hmm?
Please, sir, to try? Namasakana. Please eat it.
Oh, my other favorite.
From belly of great white shark.
Alice, I'm not very big on sushi, but if I have to eat this to prove how much I love you, here we go.
Okay, girls, now.
Surprise!
Tracy, oh, for Christ's sake. You too. Alice, you fraud.
I said when I met the man who gave us our fantasies, I was going to lay one on him. So here.
Oh, this is absolutely great.
It gets better.
Oh, yeah. Ta-da! Prime rib.
Your favorite? Unless you'd rather stick with the squid.
No. I think this will be just fine. Ladies, you have absolutely overwhelmed me.
Oh, you've overwhelmed us, George. Thank you so much.
We just love you. All of us.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do all of you love me?
Yes, George. We all love you.
So, have a seat. You're the guest of honor.
You are wonderful. You know, Alice, I think we should have a picnic spectacular every year. How about Paris next year? Would you like that?
Paris.
Sure, then London, Rome. There are enough cities in the world to keep us in picnic spectaculars for years to come.
Let's not think about years. Let's just think about now.
I have never been so miserable in my life.
Oh, you're young. You'll heal fast.
Not that young. Besides which, how do I know they set this bone right? I told you I want to see my x-rays.
Now, Doctor, you know it's against policy for patients to view their own x-rays.
I remind you, I'm not a patient, I'm a doctor.
Not in this case, you're not. Oh, sorry.
Like hell you are. Let me have another one of those painkillers.
Q2H, once every 4 hours. I just gave you one an hour ago, and it says that excessive dosage is contraindicated.
I'll be the judge of that.
No, sir. I will.
Don't tell me this wonderful sightseeing tour is over.
It's good for you. Fresh air has wonderful recuperative powers. Anyway, it's time for your sponge bath.
Christine, you're not going to give me a sponge bath.
Policy, Doctor. Besides, don't you want to look good for tonight's party?
I'm not going to any party tonight.
Yes, you are. I'm your private duty nurse, and I am going.
So, you were really my night nurse, huh? If I'd have known that, I might have stayed up a little later.
Well, that's okay. Maybe now at least you could keep awake for tonight.
What's tonight?
Mr. Rourke said there's going to be a big party. If you don't have a date. You don't have a date, do you?
No.
Then maybe we could go together?
I don't know. I'm not real big on parties.
Me either. But wouldn't it be rude not to go?
I guess so. But it'll have to be an early evening. You know.
Yeah, I know. Doctor's orders.
Thank you, Lawrence. Miss Green, please have a seat, won't you? I'm afraid I have some bad news for you.
It's George, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, his doctor called from the mainland just a short while ago. As you know, Mr. Galloway underwent some tests before he left the hospital, and the results are now in.
Yes, at that time they told him he had a year to live. It's worse now, isn't it?
Much worse. He has perhaps 3 months.
Oh, no.
I'm terribly sorry.
Perhaps a brandy, miss?
Mr. Rourke, does he have to be told now?
I think it would be best, yes. And I think he would want it that way. I'm sure he would like to put his affairs in order.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. I hadn't thought of that. You're right, of course. Mr. Rourke, I'd like to be the one to tell him.
That's rather a heavy burden for you under the circumstances, isn't it, Miss Green?
It's nothing compared to his, is it? You do understand why I should be the one to tell him, don't you, Mr. Rourke?
More than you know, Miss Green. More than you know.
Hi. You're crashing me down, aren't you?
Guilty.
Can I have the autograph?
Sure. Where do you want it?
Anywhere you said.
Maybe this'll do.
Disgusting, the way women throw themselves at him merely because he does something with a pigskin sphere.
Mr. McGowan is a hero to his fans, Lawrence. Do I detect envy from you, of all people?
Not envy, sir. Wisdom, I hope. Knowing that young ladies belong to young men, and it serves them both right.
Mr. Rourke, do you have a minute?
Certainly, Mr. McGowan.
Could we talk?
If you'll excuse me, sir, I'll see to your attire for this evening.
How about over here?
Certainly. Yes, Mr. McGowan.
Okay. I may as well get right into this. I have a problem.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How may I be of assistance?
It's about Tracy.
Yes?
Well, she's got a great sense of humor. And she has this incredible body. And she's nice.
So far, I don't see the slightest indication of a problem, Mr. McGowan.
You will, because that is the problem. It's like when I'm with a woman. I mean, really with a woman.
Perhaps if you just say it right out.
I can't.
Oh?
Well, I'm trying to the words impotent. Now you know.
Have you spoken to your doctor?
Sure, he says it's all in my head. I guess it all started when the rumors came out that I was going to be traded. And then that damn centerfold came out, and women started crawling all over me. And then I spent all that time in the hospital. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, I lost it.
No, that's not unusual, Mr. McGowan, considering all the pressure you have been under. One's mental state plays a large part in one's amorous performance.
Sure, that sounds so simple. But it's not so simple when it's happening to you. Do you have any idea what it's like when your head is yelling, go for it, and your body's yelling, no way? I've never had this problem in my whole life.
Mr. McGowan, you came to Fantasy Island to relax. The best advice I can give you is that you do just that. And your problem will resolve itself. Really.
What do I do about Tracy in the meantime? What happens when she finds out that the big lover's really a big zero?
It is quite possible that Miss Fremont sees you as a human being first and a sex symbol second.
She didn't give that impression.
Mr. McGowan, go and enjoy a lovely evening with a lovely young lady and relax.
I'm just trying to have a good time.
Me too. Look, can we go now?
Well, you know, this Singapore sling is really delicious.
Terrific, huh? So how come I have plain fruit juice? Look, be a sport and get me one of those, huh?
You're on medication.
I'm a person in pain. Why can't you be nice to me? Can't. Everything itches.
Here, try this.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
I think it'll work.
Ah, Dr. Reed, I am so sorry about your accident.
Yes, well, unfortunately, I may survive.
I would like a word with Miss Donovan, if it's all right.
Oh, be my guest.
Do you mind, Miss Donovan?
Of course not, Mr. Rourke. Don't go anywhere.
Sure I will. When you come back, I'll be doing the cha-cha.
Miss Donovan?
Are you enjoying your fantasy?
Immensely.
You don't think you're being a little hard on the poor man?
Of course not. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up, Mr. Rourke. This really isn't like me at all.
I didn't think so. You are a nurse, a caring person.
I'm a professional, too, Mr. Rourke.
Oh, and Dr. Reed isn't?
Well, sure he is. But why can't he understand that a patient is a person? And ignoring that fact is not going to make him get better any faster.
Christine?
Your person has called, miss.
You're a wonderful dancer, Crash.
No, I'm a wonderful quarterback. A lousy dancer.
Don't you just love dancing slow?
Love it. Do you mind if we sit down? I'm getting a little tired.
Oh, of course not. Hey, I'm sorry. I forgot you said you wanted to make an early evening of it. I was just having such a wonderful time.
And I'm having a great time, too.
You are?
You're different. You don't seem to want anything from me.
Like what?
Secret plays. Like the scoop on my private life. An autograph.
Well, my kid brother might want an autograph. All I want is one last dance.
Okay.
Alice, you look absolutely wonderful.
Oh, well, thank you, sir.
Come on, let's dance, huh?
Oh, Georgia. Do you mind if we go?
Well, no, not at all. Where?
Where we can be alone.
Would my place be all right?
Yes, George. That would be fine.
So, want to come in?
Gee, I'd like to, but I'm really tired.
I know. It's late. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow.
Sure thing.
Oh, thanks, Crash. I really had a good time.
I did too, Tracy. Thank you. I shouldn't have done that.
Oh, yes, you should have. Hours ago.
Good night, Tracy.
Do you know how often I've thought about this? Soft music and a glass of brandy and loving you.
And I love you, George.
Alice, is something wrong?
There's something you have to know.
Well, then come, tell me.
Your doctor was going to tell you when you got back to town.
Dr. Samuels? Does this have something to do with the tests I took?
Yes. I wanted to be the one to tell you. But I just don't know how to say it.
Well, is it that bad?
Yes.
You're trying to tell me I'm going to die. How long have I got?
About 3 months.
And how long have you known?
A few weeks ago, Dr. Samuels thought it would be a year or more. But today he called Mr. Roy.
So you knew before you told me you loved me, before you had me bring you here tonight for soft music and romance?
George, what I heard today has nothing to do with the way I feel about you.
How long have you loved me, Alice? When did you know that?
When you were in the hospital. Long before I knew how really ill you were.
Why didn't you tell me then?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Oh, Alice, you say you love me. You're a nurse. Can you separate me from my illness, from this damn thing that's going to kill me? As a matter of fact, if the doctor hadn't called Rourke this morning, would you ever have told me you love me? Oh, Alice. Kind, sweet, caring, sympathetic Alice. You tried. You really did. Now you're off the hook.
George, please don't shut me out.
Good night, Alice.
I'm sorry, sir. Would you believe I was waylaid by a group of very attractive women who wanted to pose for me?
I've always suspected there is a great deal more to you than meets the eye, Lawrence.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Galloway.
If Miss Green told him, sir, it seems he's taking his fate with great equanimity.
He's a courageous man, Lawrence. Also a little stubborn, I'm afraid. Good morning.
Good morning. And thank you, my friend. For Alice and for trying.
Oh, I didn't ask Miss Green to do anything she didn't want to do.
I know you didn't, but my fantasy was for Alice to love me, not pity me.
I respect what you're going through, but that's not at all fair to Miss Green.
I will not have her pretending to love me.
She's not pretending.
Miss Green was most passionate about fulfilling your fantasies, sir.
Then she should not have been put in that position. Damn it, Rourke, why has this unbearable thing happened?
What unbearable thing? Discovering that Miss Green truly loves you.
No, for wanting to live. In my whole life, I have never wanted, never coveted what I couldn't have until now.
Mr. Galloway, is death really the issue here? We all must die. The secret is in not letting death have the victory.
Something bothering you?
You remember that ruptured spleen I operated on last week?
You mean Mr. Jacobson?
Yeah. The hospital called. They lost him a couple of hours ago.
Oh, no. He was such a nice man. And his wife, I was really hoping he'd make it.
Yeah. Well, I was really hoping he'd make it, too. I wish they'd all make it. But they don't.
Aren't you out of character, Doctor?
Why? You think because sometimes I can't seem to remember my patients' names that I don't give a damn? Or because I don't give them a short course in pharmacology before I give them a pill that I'm some kind of monster?
No, it's just that I see nothing wrong with treating patients like human beings. For example, answering their questions.
Christine, I don't have time for wondering whether someone understands what I'm doing, so long as I know what I'm doing. And I'm doing my best. If I got involved with my patients, I'd lose my professional objectivity. I don't want to know about their family, their friends, their hobbies.
Why? What are you afraid of?
Afraid? Maybe I'm afraid of making a mistake, of hurting someone I've come to know. I don't want to know that it was Walter Jacobson who died.
Is that why you call him the ruptured spleen case? You really think it makes it that much easier?
Not in the middle of the night.
Why don't you quit your doctoring before it eats you from the inside out?
Quitting's out of the question. There's nothing else I want to do with my life. I've always wanted to be a doctor.
Why?
Why? Because my father's a doctor. My grandfather was a doctor. Because I was always good at science. Because it seemed the natural thing to do.
Did you ever consider teaching or research?
Not really.
Maybe you should. Not everybody has the kind of personality that translates into working with sick people. That's not a crime. But what is a crime is doing something your whole life that doesn't make you happy.
You know, I don't recall signing on for your complete lecture series.
Don't worry, it's a short course. And now to summarize for my more impatient students, this is the point. It's not fair for you to avoid your own pain by inflicting it on other people. Give us a break, Doctor.
Damn. I can't seem to get away from you, can I? I can't seem to get away from any of it. And I've tried, lady. I have really tried.
Maybe you should quit trying for other people and try for yourself.
Miss Fremont?
Hi, Mr. Rourke.
I admire your exuberance, but do you think this will really help your game? Huh? Of course, it may help relieve frustrations.
You got it. It's frustrations I'm working on.
Oh, if I can help in any way.
It's Crash. No, I don't do anything for him. And he's everything I thought he'd be. He's not just some dumb jock. He's smart. And he's nice. He is really, really nice. But it's just that...
Miss Fremont, you are a very bright young lady. And you know that every such relationship involves two people with feelings. And up until this point, perhaps you've been concerned only with your own.
But he said I was pretty. And he likes me. And there's no other woman. So what's his problem?
Just because a man doesn't immediately respond to a woman in a physical way doesn't necessarily mean he has an unsolvable problem. No. Very often men are in need of friendship, just like women.
Crash wants a friend?
Oh, many people need understanding friends before they need lovers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. Poor guy. Here he's been trying to tell me something important. And I've been coming on like a groupie.
Oh, no.
What am I gonna do?
Don't do anything. Just be yourself. Try to relate to Mr. McGowan as a human being. A warm, friendly, understanding human being. Hmm?
Thank you, Mr. Rourke. I have, been acting like a teenager. This time I started acting like a woman. Here. Oh. I'll wash it first.
Sorry, Mr. Rourke. I'm a quitter. I'm running away. But it's for the best.
The best for whom, Miss Green?
Well, for George. You've talked to him. You know he has no use for me.
The man is understandably angry at his fate and thinks he's being patronized instead of loved.
He may not be all that wrong.
Are you agreeing with him then, that you've only been pretending?
Damn it. Just not fair.
Being fair is irrelevant. Death is a matter of chance, not justice. What is really important here is whether or not you love him.
What difference does that make?
Oh, none. If it makes no difference to you.
What I need is answers, and all you do is keep asking me questions.
Mr. Galloway loves you, Miss Green, and he is going to die. There are no answers, only choices.
What choice? That I should have him for a few days and then be torn apart when he's taken away from me? What kind of a choice is that?
One that only a very special kind of love can endure. But a month, a week, a day of such love is more, Miss Green, much more than many people get out of a whole lifetime filled with regrets for what might have been.
Oh, Mr. Rourke, what am I going to do?
Well, it's really very simple. Just listen to your heart and do what it tells you to do.
Want to race?
No, I want to slow down.
Why?
I ate too much for lunch.
Want to get off and rest for a bit?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. Ow!
You didn't.
Oh, didn't I? This has to be a record. I haven't missed one chance all weekend to make a total fool of myself. Crash, I'm sorry, honestly. You need a friend, you get an idiot.
How do you plan to get out of here like that?
I've been giving that a moment of serious thought. Here's the plan. You pretend that chivalry isn't dead and give me the shirt off your back.
All right. Think it's long enough. Right on.
Why do you guys always have buttons on the wrong side?
Oh, never occurred to you that women button on the wrong side?
There. Do I look stupid?
No. Gorgeous. Understanding. Fun. Totally great.
That was nice. Should we head back?
What for?
Well, I'm sure there's a few activities on Fantasy Island that we've missed.
At least one that I can think of.
This is Fantasy Island. Fantastic.
I don't suppose you believe I've been considering what you said.
And?
I've got a 15-year investment in my medical practice,
And a mortgage on your home, and payments on your new boat.
which I'm paying for out of your hide. No, don't be embarrassed. I appreciate you bringing it to my attention. There have been too many days when I just didn't want to set foot in that hospital. I thought I was the only one who was really suffering. God knows. If it hadn't been for you and stepping in front of that cart,
I want you to know I'm really sorry about your accident. But what I'm even sorrier about is how I've been treating you. I really read you wrong.
no, you read me right. Maybe for the wrong reasons. So, we playing here or what?
Checkmate.
Okay. You keep telling me you're sorry. There are really only two things you need to be sorry about. The first one is for that move. And the second one is for leaving me alone at that table last night, while you danced with every guy in the place. When I get home, I'll be looking for a research assistant. Would you be interested?
If you came here looking for sushi and geisha girls today, George, I'm sorry you're disappointed.
I'm not disappointed at all. A little surprised, maybe, that you'd even want to talk to me. I was pretty hard on you, Alice. You deserve better than that.
I know.
Hmm?
The least I deserve is a kiss.
You certainly do. You also deserve an apology. I didn't consider your feelings because I was so damn wrapped up in my own.
You were scared, and so was I.
Yes, but it's more than that. My pride wouldn't let me accept the fact that you just might want me as I am, with a very limited lifetime guarantee.
We're both old enough, George, to be realistic and to know there are no guarantees in this world, not for life or for love. I think I'm very lucky just finding you and having you for as long as I can.
And you'll stick it out with me? A day at a time for as many days as we have.
Oh, yes. And they'll be wonderful days. The best days we've ever known.
We had a great time. Mr. Rourke, I don't know how to thank you. Everything was wonderful. Perfect. Better than I ever dreamed it would be.
Is that your exuberance again, Miss Fremont?
Oh, not for a minute. Utterly stupendous. Oh, here's your handkerchief.
Oh, thank you. It's my understanding you'll be seeing Mr. McGowan again once you get home.
He told you that?
Oh, indeed he did.
I can verify that if you wish, miss.
Lawrence, you are a killer. Come on, Chris, let's go home. I don't want to miss Crash's call.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rourke. My fantasy didn't turn out like I thought it would, but I wouldn't have missed a minute of it.
Well, I'm delighted.
And how do you think Dr. Reed will feel about it?
Well, I think that once he gets his cast off, he'll feel better than he has in years, and I want to thank you too, Lawrence. Goodbye now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye now.
You look radiant, Miss Green. I gather you enjoyed your holiday?
Oh, yes. And it isn't over. It'll never be over.
I hope all your days are filled with happiness.
Ah, all of them will be, Rourke. Every last one. Thank you.
Thank you both.